Next shopping trip could make you the hero of the weekend meet, or the cautionary tale nobody wants to repeat. Stick around as we rank 13 proven mods that pay off every time you hit the gas, then unmask 5 so-called upgrades that can leave you stranded with a smoking block and an empty bank account. If you want the fastest, most dramatic transformation for your car without touching the engine, start where the rubber meets the road, literally. 1. Ultra grippy tires. This is the upgrade every seasoned driver swears by. Forget the factory all seasons designed for acceptable performance in every condition. They're the culinary equivalent of instant noodles. A set of ultra-high performance or top-tier all-weather tires instantly changes your car's personality. You'll brake shorter, corner flatter, and feel connected to the asphalt in a way that's almost unnerving the first time you push it. Even in the rain, the siping channels water away so efficiently you'll wonder why you didn't do this years ago. 2. High-friction brake pads and slotted rotors. More speed is useless if you can't scrub it off quickly. Performance pads bite harder from the first press, and slotted rotors keep the surface clean by sweeping away gases and debris every rotation. The result? Fade resistance that doesn't disappear halfway down a mountain road. One hard stop, and you'll realize braking is no longer a panic move. It's a weapon you control. 3. Lightweight forged wheels. This one's less obvious, but just as potent. Every pound of unsprung, rotating weight you remove gives you a triple benefit: faster acceleration, sharper handling, and shorter braking distances. Swap your stock cast wheels for lightweight forged alloys, and the whole car feels more eager. Even your suspension works better because it's not wrestling with so much mass every time you hit a bump. And that's the foundation: traction, stopping power, and responsiveness. But grip alone won't put a grin on your face unless the engine can breathe like it's meant to. And that's exactly what's next. Power is just trapped potential until you give an engine fresh air and a clear escape route. Unlock the lungs, and every throttle press feels like exhaling a secret you've been holding in for years. 4. Heat-shielded cold air intake. Colder, denser, louder. Stock air boxes sip lukewarm underhood haze. A sealed, heat-shielded intake reaches beyond the radiator wall, drawing in cooler, oxygen-rich air that combusts harder and cleaner. You'll hear it first, a deep, eager inhale that makes the needle jump like it's been awakened. Gains aren't just dyno numbers. They're the sharper tip-in when you merge, the mid-range pull that arrives half a second sooner, the satisfying whoosh that turns tunnels into concert halls. Pair the kit with a washable oiled filter, clamp every joint tight, and reset fuel trims with a quick battery pull or scanner, so the ECU learns the new flow instead of fighting it. 5. 50 state legal catback exhaust. Growl without guilt. Back pressure robs momentum. Compliance keeps tickets and engine lights away. A mandrel-bent stainless catback walks that line perfectly. Gases slip through smoother curves. The note deepens into a confident baritone, and spool up comes earlier on turbo cars. No drone at cruising speed. No angry neighbors at dawn. Just a crisp bark when you floor it, and a burble on overrun that makes every downshift feel like a victory lap. Look for resonators that kill rasp without smothering tone, TIG welds that won't rust flake, and proper hanger placement so nothing taps the chassis on rough roads. 6. High-flow downpipe with proper catalyst. Freedom after the fire. 4 boosted setups. The stock downpipe is a cork in the bottle. Upsize the diameter, smooth the bends, add a high cell count sport cat, and the turbo spins freer, building boost hundreds of RPM sooner. You'll feel stronger mid-range torque, cleaner top-end pull, and crucially, no dreaded check engine light. Ceramic coating keeps underhood temps in check, protecting belts and wiring nearby. Torque every flange warm. Use new gaskets and log post-install AFRs so you know the mixture stays safe. The road will confirm success. Throttle response sharpens, wastegate chatter grows playful, and uphill passes require less pedal and more grin. Air races in, fumes race out, but the real power spike happens when electrons get in on the plot. Up next, the smarter tune and the digital safeguards that let you chase big gains without gambling the block. Horsepower is a promise written in code. Crack that code the right way, and you unleash torque that the factory hid behind a wall of caution signs. Crack it the wrong way, and the pistons sign their own resignation letters. 7. Professional, conservative ECU calibration. Power with a safety net. Modern engines guard themselves with sensors and thresholds, but those limits leave performance on the table. A real tuner doesn't just flood the tables with more fuel and advanced timing until it knocks. They read logs, watch exhaust temps, and tailor ignition curves cylinder by cylinder. The result? 10 to 20% more horsepower that arrives smooth, not spiky. With drivability so clean you'd swear the car rolled off the showroom like this. Cold start stays civil, highway mileage often improves, and the idle learns a subtle, confident thrum. Most important, factory fail-safes remain in place, ready to step in if you ever grab the wrong octane or climb a desert grade on a 110 degrees Fahrenheit day. Think of it as giving your engine a bigger playground while keeping the fence around the cliff. 8. Real-time OBD gauges and multi-map controllers, eyes and brains on every pull. More power means more variables to monitor. A compact digital gauge cluster taps the OBD port and shows live coolant temps, knock counts, and air-fuel ratios. One glance warns you if heat is creeping or if ethanol content just dipped below safe levels. Pair that with a steering wheel map switch, and you can dial back boost when rain starts falling, or hand the keys to a friend without sweating bullets. Valet mode caps torque. Economy mode softens throttle for long trips. Full tilt mode releases every trained horse for track day glory. Data logging stores each run, so if a hiccup appears you track it down before it snowballs into a 4-figure repair. The ECU now thinks faster and the dashboard talks back, but raw power breeds raw heat. Before those gains melt into trouble, let's armor your cooling system so temperature becomes just another number on the screen, never a red warning light. Power is useless when heat turns metal soft and oil into sludge. Keep temperatures under control, and every hard pull feels effortless instead of risky. 9. Larger front mount intercooler or water chiller. Knock's worst nightmare. Boost packs extra oxygen, but it also cooks the intake charge. A core the size of a carry-on suitcase, or a trunk-mounted water chiller for the truly committed. Drops intake temps by up to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Cooler air packs more density, letting timing stay aggressive without flirting with detonation. You'll feel stronger mid-range punch, steadier power on back-to-back highway pulls, and the confidence to floor it on a sweltering afternoon without watching the knock count climb. 10. Dual-row aluminum radiator with silicone hoses. Traffic tested, track approved. Factory radiators are stamped compromises engineered for average drivers. A dual-row aluminum core doubles coolant capacity and sheds heat like rain off polished glass. Silicone hoses laugh at the underhood inferno that turns rubber brittle and leaky. Toss in a low-temp thermostat and fresh, high-boil coolant, and the temp needle settles into the lower third, even while you crawl through rush hour gridlock with the AIC blasting. 11. Full synthetic ester-based oil and high-flow filter. Liquid armor for redline moments. Friction is forever. The wrong lubricant just accelerates the hurt. Ester-based synthetics cling to metal at 300 degrees Fahrenheit spikes, cushioning bearings and cam lobes when conventional blends give up and carbonize. Pair that with a high-flow filter that resists bypass mode at high RPM, and oil pressure stays rock steady. During sudden, high-G corners, you'll see cleaner lifter tick, smoother cold starts, and extended drain intervals that save both time and crank journals. Straight line speed might win the bragging rights, but it's the way a car threads a curve that etches lasting memories. Dial in the suspension and chassis, and every on-ramp becomes a private slalom run where the steering wheel feels wired directly to your thoughts. 12. Adjustable coilovers with matched sway bars, poise on demand. Factory dampers juggle comfort, cost, and legal ride height. They're designed for commuters, not curve hunters. Swap them for monotube coilovers with independent rebound and compression, and you sculpt the car's posture like a tailor fitting a suit. A half turn of preload sharpens turn in. A click of damping tames mid-corner heave. Add properly sized sway bars, stiff enough to flatten body roll, soft enough to keep each tire sharing the load, and you unlock neutral balance that stays calm on imperfect pavement. The first time you power through an S-bend without the dashboard lurching sideways, you'll wonder why you ever accepted factory float. 13. Chassis bracing, strut tower, and subframe. Rigid resolve without the weight. Every seam in a unibody is a polite suggestion to flex. Repeated lateral loads turn that suggestion into a conversation you feel in the steering rack. Lightweight aluminum or steel braces triangulate those weak points, locking strut towers and subframes into a single, cohesive spine. Steering feedback becomes crisp, suspension geometry stays true under load, and even potholes strike with a cleaner, more honest thump instead of a dull wobble. Think of bracing as the silent partner, No flashy gains on a dyno sheet, yet every hard corner whispers its gratitude. With grip maximized, power flowing, and temperatures held in check, the build looks bulletproof until you factor in the traps lurking on the parts shelf. Up next, 5 glittering upgrades that masquerade as performance, but can quietly sign your engine's death certificate. Every parts aisle has a dark corner, flashy gadgets that promise glory, but hide a price tag stamped catastrophe. Dodge these 5, or be ready to trade horsepower for heartache. Killer 1, the 5-minute flash mystery tune. That USB flash tool boasting, plus 80 HP, no dyno needed, is the mechanical equivalent of playing darts blindfolded. Shady maps dump fuel, yank timing, and disable knock control to fake power on the butt dyno. A single lean spike at redline and aluminum pistons start peppering the cylinder walls like metallic hail. Even if the block survives, dealers see the tamper count and shred your warranty faster than you can say service appointment. Killer 2, low slung cold air intake, no bypass valve. Looks aggressive, sounds ferocious until the skies open. One poorly placed puddle, water rushes up the snorkel, and slam. A cylinder meant to squeeze air tries to compress liquid. That instant hydrolock bends connecting rods into corkscrews and snaps crank journals clean in half. Insurance adjusters call it owner negligence. Seasoned wrenchers call it a $5,000 splash. Killer 3, MMT heavy octane boosters. Those neon bottles whisper race fuel fantasies, but many are laced with manganese, MMT. It coats spark plugs in ready rust, fouls oxygen sensors, and glazes catalytic honeycomb until flow drops and exhaust heat skyrockets. Misfire codes blink, the ECU yanks timing, and your once healthy idle now sounds like marbles in a blender. Save the $15 by Real Premium Fuel instead. Killer 4, jumbo turbo or supercharger on stock internals. Bigger isn't always bad, unless your connecting rods look like coat hangers compared to the boost you're demanding. Slap a 70mm snail on a bone stock 4-banger, and cylinder pressures spike past the tensile limit in 2-gear pulls. Best case scenario, spun rod bearings and glitter in the oil. Worst case, a wrist pin punches daylight through the block, ending with an oil slick toe and a rebuild that costs more than the car. Killer 5, cheap, overstuffed oil catch cans. A quality catch can filters vapor. Bargain cans pack coarse mesh that clogs by the first oil change. Once blocked, crankcase pressure swells, forcing oil past turbo seals and rear main gaskets. The exhaust smokes like a forest fire. Compression tanks and knock sensors light up like New Year's Eve. Skip the $30 knockoff. Either buy a proven unit with a serviceable filter or leave the factory PCV alone. 13 smart mods elevate your ride. These 5 glittering traps lurk like hidden landmines. Now that you know which parts build legends and which ones write obituaries, let's seal the deal with one last thought that could save your wallet and your engine for good. Your toolbox now holds 2 distinct roads. One is paved with 13 proven upgrades, traction that anchors you, airflow that frees hidden horsepower, code that adds brains instead of bravado, cooling that shrugs at heat, and a chassis that corners like it already knows the exit. Follow that path, and every drive feels like the car was finally allowed to tell its full story. The other is littered with 5 glittering shortcuts, mystery flashes, puddle snorkels, manganese potions, ego-sized boost, and bargain cans that whisper cheap thrills, yet deliver catastrophic bills. Choose them, and the next sound you hear could be a rod confessing its escape plan through the block. So the question isn't, should I mod my car? It's, will my mods pay me back in smiles or charge me interest in carnage? You have the map, the warnings, and the winning combinations. The rest is a single decision away. Ratchet in hand, engine cooling in the background, and a stretch of empty road waiting to judge your choices. Make it count, because legends are built one smart upgrade at a time, and cautionary tales start with a single reckless click.